This is Tom's World Beer Tour, a podcast story featuring Tom Bowman and Tom Bradley. Now, crack one open and let the tour begin.
Well, I got to tell you something, man. I don't know why we take a week off and it feels so long before we come back around.
It's long because we did a show and then a week goes by and then we decide not to do a show and a week. It's 2 weeks from us talking.
You sound like
I mean, not talking because I talk
you-
to you probably more than
You sound like
people
a
realize.
PGA pro that goes, "Oh, you hit it in the water. That's a two-stroke penalty." I'm like, "What do you mean it's a two-stroke penalty?"
Yeah, stroke in, stroke out.
That's the first one is not a penalty. It's actually your hit.
Yeah, but it's two.
But you
it's
see
two
what I'm
strokes.
saying?
I do. So
All
we
right.
did a show 2 weeks ago Wednesday,
Yes, it's been 2 weeks.
and then we went a week and decided 6 days later, I asked, hey, can we not do a show this week?
I think we both decided that.
Well,
I
that's
think we
true.
both decided
We
that.
decided we had a lot going on, and it was a nutty week, and a damn deer.
Let me give you another golf thing.
Yeah, please.
All right. You're on a par 3.
Okay.
You tee off
Yeah.
and you put it not on the green. You don't make it on the green on a par 3.
Right.
The other guy next to you, he hits it, he's on the green.
Yep.
He's got to wait for you to hit now.
Yeah.
You hit and you lie how many? You're on the green, you lie how many?
You lied too.
You lie 2. And you're away from the hole, so he's still waiting for you. And you know what he says to you? He doesn't say you lie 2. He says, you're hitting 3.
Yeah.
And it's true.
Yeah. You are hitting 3.
But he's giving you the upper number,
Yeah.
and you already feel like you've screwed the entire hole.
Well, not only that, he can say, you say I'm laying 2. He says you're hitting 3, but no matter what, you're away.
And you're away, and he lies 1.
Yeah.
So you're hitting 3, I lie 1. I mean, it's a total mind screw.
Yeah.
And I know because my oldest brother used to do that to me on the golf course. No, I lie 1, and you're, let me see, come on, you're hitting 3.
Yeah.
You're like, what do you want?
Why don't you just put an 8 on the scorecard so we can move forward?
Give me the snowman, and let's just have our way
Nothing
with it.
higher than a snowman when you're out playing with friends.
Welcome back to the podcast, then. I'm
Hi.
sorry we missed 2 weeks on this thing, and
We
you've
have.
been very, very busy.
We've all been very, very busy, but yes, it has been an extraordinarily busy month.
Now you want to, let's have a sip. Tailgater.
Snapper, local, high percentage of alcohol, perfectly needed tonight.
Here's what the deal is. We're
Yeah.
not going to be having a show next week because it's Turkey Eve.
That's right.
I had annually, we used to play basketball.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Not anally,
Oh,
annually.
I don't know how you stuff a turkey.
Actually, you stuff a turkey anally.
You kind of do, right? It's in the cavity.
You got to
The
be willing to reach up
cavity.
there. You got to go for it.
Yeah.
First, you have to reach up there and you got to pull out the innards.
The bag of innards.
Yeah. Well, and actually, that's not true. The bag of innards is usually in the neck cavity.
The neck and all that stuff's in a baggie in the front, and then in the back, it's
It's
like,
just really just.
Yeah.
And I think mostly we put our hand up there to have fun with it.
Do
Anyway,
you brine your bird?
do I brine my bird
That's
every
right.
time I get a chance? When
That's
I'm by
right.
myself, and I don't feel like it's something that other people.
You don't think
My
it's
mom
you
used
don't
to
feel
say-
it's a two-person job?
My mom used to say it's okay to brine your bird.
Right.
Just do it in the privacy of your own room, Tommy. And that's what she would say.
Nice.
Is that what you're talking about?
No.
I have brined my bird before, and I've actually done it for a fried turkey and for a roast turkey.
Yeah.
And for the roast bird, it was okay. For the fried turkey, it was phenomenal.
Oh my God! You should always brine poultry.
I mean, but you got to dry it all on the outside.
If you're
before
going to
you-
fry it.
before you put it in the
well,
fryer.
I mean, listen, you're basically putting a poultry bomb into oil.
I mean, it can happen. It can be that way.
You know what? I tried fried turkey once. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Bitch, are you serious?
Seriously, it's okay.
Fried turkey is damn good.
It's okay.
It's not okay. It's good.
It's okay.
It's from heaven. So
It's
they overdid it on you. They overcooked it, and they
yeah,
gave
it wasn't great. I haven't had a great one yet. I've had a smoked turkey from a place that used to be here that was in business that smoked
and
turkey.
I've had smoked
And
ones
it
which
was
are
okay.
good, okay, and not okay.
I prefer to brine my bird overnight,
yes.
and I prefer to use this reverse cooking method where it goes in at 500 degrees to brown the skin.
Wait, in your oven?
Yeah.
Dude, this is a way to get, like,
No, you didn't let me
poison
finish.
yourself. Just the whole thing is that you're
Listen,
working a bird back
You put
and
the
forth.
You put the bird in at 500 degrees for about 15 minutes, and you let everything brown up. before you put the bird in, before it gets hot, you make what you call the turkey triangle. So you take this foil of triangle.
This is great. They're in Sri Lanka. They've got a sexual thing, and you can order it online.
It's called the turkey triangle.
The turkey triangle, and you get and the thing that's crazy is it doesn't require 3 people, and a lot of people
but
think
where does the fourth leg go?
That's the thing.
I don't understand.
That's the turkey
triangle. I don't get it.
It's
right?
like the Bermuda Triangle. What happened to the fourth leg? We don't know.
So anyways, that's how I start high, and then you bring it down and let it roast.
Are you using a thermometer in this thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you stuff the bird?
No.
Never.
You should never stuff the bird.
Screw that. Why not?
Do you want to go to the hospital?
No.
That's what you're risking by stuffing a bird. Here's the deal.
No.
I would prefer, and most people will call stuffing, whether you put it in the bird or not, they call it stuffing. It's really not. If it's not in the bird, it's dressing. If it's in the bird, it's stuffing. I prefer dressing to be cooked separately because in our house we cook sort of this Italian style where it's got a couple different types of meats and it's amazing.
I got a little worried on that. There's a couple different types of meats.
Couple different
now
types
you're back
meats.
to the turkey triangle. It's going on in there.
I like a good roasted turkey.
Are you putting some kind of Italian sausage into a bird?
Yes. Not in the bird, but in the dressing.
But you're right about dressing and stuffing. If you make scrambled eggs on a Saturday morning, it's called
scrambled eggs.
Yeah. If you stuff it into a turkey, it's called
scrambled eggs in a turkey.
Stuffing. It's still stuffing. It doesn't matter what it is.
Stupid.
Let's
Why would
say,
you do that?
Let's say your dog goes out and craps on the lawn. It's called
shit.
Okay. If you take that and shove it in a turkey,
shit in a turkey.
It's stuffing.
It's still shit in a turkey.
Stuffing all the way through.
I'm not sure where this is going, but we've established that.
I like the fact that we have like a little bit of a Thanksgiving,
We might as well, since we're not going to be on next
So
week.
Welcome again to the Thanksgiving special with the Tom'sWorldBeerTour.com.
That's right.
You want to do any housekeeping before we move on?
We can. Once again, here's the good news. If we're off for a week, there are episodes you can go back and watch. So if you're watching us on Facebook, you want to like and follow us so that you know when new episodes are coming. You can subscribe to the YouTube page. So once again, as we post new episodes, you are notified. And of course, on Thursday mornings, everywhere you download your favorite podcasts is Tom's World Beer Tour, and therefore you can go there and subscribe. Sometimes maybe you missed a week, maybe you missed 2 weeks. If we're off for a week,
you missed a week, you might want to.
This is your opportunity to go back and get whole and listen to a show.
Okay.
So there you go.
You miss a week.
By the way, it's been a week.
You might. It has been a week, man. I'm sorry. It's been here. Come here.
Come on.
Come on now.
Come on. Can I just?
I missed you. Here we
can
go.
I just say, without being specific, that I may have some of the stupidest people working for me.
No, don't go there. Don't go there.
I just do.
And it's not fair when you talk about McDonald's, you act like they're working for you because you're going through the drive-thru. It's not fair.
That's a good point. But I will tell you on a good note.
Yes.
Got a beautiful new car.
Did you pick it up?
Yeah, it's here.
Wow.
I picked it up Monday.
I got to see it.
I picked it up Monday.
You know who's never going to see the new car? The buck that you hit on the highway at 70 miles an hour.
So I found out from one of my staffers yesterday, who also lives up here where we do. We both commute. On that day, she rolled up 15 minutes after I hit said deer. It was still in the middle of the road.
I told you it didn't go away.
But I never saw it in the middle of the road.
You never saw it. I saw the damage on your car, and I know these monster bucks can get hit with anything, including 30-06, and cover 500 yards. I know they can. The damage on your car, I don't think the deer, once it landed, it was done in midair when it was spinning around.
She said, "Oh my God, that was a huge deer," confirming what I thought, which was, I think it was a young 4-point buck, massive deer. Middle of the road after I hit
She
it.
stopped and she looked, and there was the imprint of your license plate right on that.
So part of the reason not doing a show last week is I had to go take all the stuff out of my car, which is always demoralizing. Let me go get my goods from my car because they have totaled it.
But you didn't think there wasn't the jock strap. There weren't empty.
Yeah, I had a ball gag in there, but only for parties.
Except for that.
I mean, it was fine.
It was Halloween.
But at the end of the day. When my insurance guy called me, this is how bad it was. He goes, "Well, it's not official yet, but before teardown, we're at $16,000 worth of damage."
From one deer.
From one deer.
And you didn't even get any summer sausage out of it.
Oh, God, no.
Right? I mean, that's...
No.
You could have. You could have.
No. I don't think it's right to eat something that you hit with your car.
Actually, I disagree with you.
I don't know. It just seems weird.
I mean, if it's there, it's...
I don't know.
Zip it open.
So anyways,
take care of things.
So here's to a better week.
Here's to a much better week. If you don't mind, I think we're going to have a great show tonight. or today or this morning.
I'll be the judge of
next week, whenever the hell you're listening to this podcast. And I think we should go ahead and
we could bring them in, right?
And bring them in at this time.
It's funny, they're both known commodities on said show.
In their own right.
Yeah, in their own right. We know them both.
Because we have, and I want to make sure we establish who. So if you're listening to this and you're not watching, you're going to need to know who you're listening to. So I'll begin closest to me over here. We have a bass player extraordinaire.
Oh.
And what?
Oh.
Extraordinaire?
Yeah, extraordinaire. Bass player extraordinaire.
Okay.
Which means among bass players,
he is an extraordinary individual in general.
He really is. And that would be Doug Whitworth. Doug, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here.
First day in glasses, right?
Yes.
And
getting used
were we
to
not
it.
supposed to mention that?
I'm getting used to it, but I like seeing
but
a
the
little
thing
bit
is,
better.
we saw you walk in. I was like, you said there's new glasses.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, new ones? And you're like, I've never owned glasses.
Nope.
They look
Never
good.
have.
They look good on you.
Thank you.
You look very good. And then next to you, we have, do you want to introduce him? Because of
Well, everyone knows
you
him.
gave
He's
the
the
name.
it's the bad roadie.
He's the bad roadie.
Now, if you're listening on the podcast, you wouldn't know because you couldn't see him. So for those of you listening, it's the bad roadie.
Hello, bad roadie.
Hey, I'm bad.
Chris
I'm
Kendrick
back.
is with us. And
I
Chris,
saw him like 4 hours ago.
Chris was here before any of us. When I pulled up in the lot, he was already there to help me unload, correct?
I was.
And so I don't know how you call him bad roadie when he's that good. He does a hell of a job.
The name already stuck. It's like a big guy you call tiny.
All right. The reason they're with us,
Yes.
twofold. Number one, we struck out on getting that big name we were looking for the podcast, so that sucked.
Yeah.
That really sucked.
Well, they keep dodging us.
Yeah, and that happens. But the other thing is we came up with this idea. We wanted to talk to drone pilots, and you guys are both drone pilots. Who first? Doug, you?
Go ahead.
Sure.
Go for it.
No. Were you a pilot of drones first?
I don't know.
I don't know. We haven't talked about that.
I brought my license in.
You got a license? Do you have yours?
Oh, my God.
Can we compare?
Yeah.
Nerd.
We're gonna bring our conversational beer in just a moment.
2017, April 26th. So here's
yeah,
what the
mine's 2020.
yeah.
Dude, it's like
So-
a drone dick measuring
Yeah,
contest.
it
over
really
here.
is.
And mine's bigger. Thank you. Oh.
No,
But-
he got a new drone. I think it's bigger.
So
than
what they
yours.
do is the FAA will issue this to you
That's really
after you take
I
your
don't know that I
initial
would put
test.
that out there that long because people are gonna
Copy it.
take your numbers down. Good job there, Dougie.
You guys-
It won't get you a cup of coffee at McDonald's. But
How important is that certificate, that card?
it's extremely important. You
Yeah,
have to
you
have
don't
it
get your
present on
ass
you.
sued.
Yeah,
What-
if you ever are asked by anyone in the public, can I see your drone
Okay,
license?
but
you have to.
Let me
show it.
ask you this: at what level of droning do you have to have a license? Because if I buy a drone from Toys R Us for my grandson, he doesn't have to go get a drone license.
No.
Right?
Yeah, but you can't fly it at the airport either.
Well, that's my question.
Yeah.
My question is, at what point do you have to get a
Well,
license?
not
Well,
true.
there's-
Not true. Wait a second. He can or she can or whoever it is.
Right. Yeah.
Well, it's
yeah,
gonna
if
be a
you're-
fight.
So,
This is
so
great.
the differentiation here is between recreational and commercial. And so if Jackson gets a drone
Yes.
and he wants to fly around and he wants to fly near the airport,
Yeah.
he can do that. He has to get authorization, but he can.
So my 10-year-old grandson is going to call COU, the airport, and go.
No, that's not how it works.
All right. Just
But there is a way for him to get authorization to do that.
Right. Sounds like
The-
I'm getting authorization for the 10-year-old.
The difference is that the minute that Jackson wants to go and say fly for Dougie,
Right.
Paid
and there's-
commercial.
then that immediately goes to commercial.
Right. Does he lose his amateur status at that point because Doug's paying him? How does that work?
Exactly. That's it.
No, it just means that he's no longer recreational. He's doing work for somebody else,
All right.
and that's where you need to get the license.
And it has to do if there's value in your flight. So if you're getting paid to do it, or if you're volunteering your time, but there's still value to the customer that you're flying for. Like if, let's just hypothetically say you don't charge me next time you fly.
Yep.
And
I'm not supposed to charge
but it's
you?
still nice.
Hey,
but
look at that.
If you don't charge, it's still a value to the end user. So you
Right.
still have to have.
And
a
that's where it
license.
stops in. Guys, we've brought in the conversational beer. Amy made that available, and we thank you very much.
Yeah, look at that.
I love
Yeah.
that. So we've been at Dive Bar twice. So this,
Yes.
once again, we are at a place that is literally called Dive Bar. We've been here before. We talked about dive bars here at Dive Bar.
Right.
Last time we were here, we had oil cans, the big giant Australian
From Foster's, which is the largest bottled or canned beer they sell here on
Right.
premises.
Which is kind of a dive bar-y, divey bar beer. And you have done it again, my friend.
Yeah, went to the smallest they have. It's a pony. And in honor of the droning, as you just coined it, droning.
Droning.
High Life.
High Life.
This is what you guys live. Miller High Life.
Don't forget, this is the champagne of beers.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Cheers. Here's to
nice.
safe flying.
We actually did a tour of this joint, you and I did.
Yes, we did.
And it was about as good as it is right now.
I want to forget that trip.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Bad Roadie was on that trip, too.
Yes, it was. You know, I'll be honest. Mostly a beer, if it's your second or third beer, its flavor will be determined on what you're coming off of.
Oh, no. No.
I actually like this.
I'm coming off of this.
So
into
am I. I'm finding this to be tasty.
This is very distinctive.
Distinctive, yes.
Chris,
Yeah, I like it. It's
2-2. Two of us like it, and two of you guys are on an
So
thumbs down.
when I was a kid, and you probably had them here in Missouri, but I grew up in California, there was a soda company called Shasta. It was like a local soda company.
We had
right?
it here.
All right, and they made little 6-ounce cans. And as kids, that's what we were allowed to have because we would waste a 12-ounce can.
Yeah.
You know, you take like 6 sips and you'd leave it somewhere, and your parents would be like, "Where's your soda?" I don't know. Can I have another one?
another one.
Then you would burp her loud.
Right, and then they would. So instead, you would get the little tiny Shastas. This is like a little tiny Shasta.
It's a
can.
little beer.
And having it after this,
Yeah, no kidding.
It's not working for you.
it's not working.
But Chris and I like it. I like
I
the
do.
flavor.
Yeah.
High Life.
This is being served a mighty chili also here at the dive bar.
Yeah.
Which works for it.
Which goes back to, once again, go in wherever you're listening to this, you know where you live, there's a dive bar. Don't discount the dive bar.
Don't discount.
Listen, the dive bar is fun. The dive bar has things you don't think about. The dive bar is no pressure.
You know, when it comes to a dive bar, I remember what my father said years ago. Son, go down every chance you can. Okay? Go down every chance you can.
You've been sitting on that all day?
I've been working on it for
Okay,
a long
good.
time.
And I bet,
and I've got nothing else
this
left
dive
after
bar
that.
has
Nice.
better food than most dive bars.
I think that's probably true.
Well,
Today
this
is
one has
steak
pretty good.
night,
It
by
is
the way.
steak night. It's Wednesday.
yeah, we
Wednesday
have
is steak. In fact, not only steak night, sous vide steak.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Yeah.
Show me a dive bar that sous vide steak.
I don't have patience for that.
I don't either.
I can't
Patience
sous
for it.
vide.
Now.
I have a sous
Now.
vide.
Sous
but
vide, I don't
I've
even
used
know
it
her.
once.
This is where you bag something and boil it.
Yes,
Bagged
forever.
and boiled.
Forever.
So
But
what you're doing is you're putting it into boiling water and it evenly cooks. What I like is if you're going to sous vide it like a steak, sous vide it till about 100 degrees, take it out, and then finish it off on a
grill.
flat top.
Yeah.
or
Would you
grill.
please come up with an American word?
The D
It
is-
doesn't have to be English. Just
boil and
Boil-
bag steak?
the D silent.
Boil and bag
Sous vide,
steak is
yeah,
what it
yeah.
is.
But
Boiled and
people,
bagged.
will infuse it with their flavors, vacuum seal it to
Yeah.
get all those flavors in
let
that
it
meat,
sit in there
and
and
then boil
marinate.
it. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
I'm all about products that are infused.
We're talking
right.
about you guys and the drones, and I know, Doug,
We're
when
droning
you
on,
went,
if
when
you
you
will.
went into this thing, and I don't know that the FAA is going to come around on this thing, but there were a couple times you might have flown slightly commercially in the beginning, and then found out there was going to be
Well, yes, and this was before the FAA had the rules because
A little too close to the
when,
sun,
when
my
the
friend?
drones, when the drones came out, their popularity went crazy,
Yeah, it was
Right.
crazy.
and the FAA said, "Holy crap!" Now,
It's
that was-
Doug Icarus Whitman.
Yeah, that was before they had all the geofencing and, of course, all the rules. So they didn't really know what to do. So they
Wild,
were
Wild West.
scrambling. I mean, they were literally scrambling
That's right.
before they came out with the test procedures for commercial pilots.
I mean, the rules are really still evolving. I mean,
Are they really? Because
yeah.
it's ironic because Mr. Bradley and I have been in radio a long time, and at one point in our business, you had to have a radio operator's license.
Yeah, I think you still have to have one to operate the transmitter.
Oh, probably, but I mean,
But that can be even now farmed out to a third party that's
right.
doing it remotely.
But for like
so it's
you and
gotten
I,
more
like the first year I got into radio, 1995, was the last year you had to have an actual operator's license.
Yeah,
So I took the
yeah.
test 1 year, got my license, and then after that they said forget
they
it.
threw it away.
I wonder at some point will this happen in the droning world?
I think it's going to get more and more strict.
I believe it's going to get
big,
more
the
strict.
big
Yeah.
changes in the works for 2022 or 23.
Oh, do you
where-
get Drone Weekly? Are you getting the magazine to your house?
Well, yeah. Aren't you part of the club?
No, I'm not a droner.
Chris was on the cover last week.
The centerfold is
Why
amazing.
he was shirtless, I don't understand. But he's a sexy bitch.
So
yeah.
so your tassels are like the little.
yeah, ready for takeoff,
Well,
Captain.
you know, I'm not going to show my ass, but there is a set of propellers, tattooed on my butt. Just
Well,
so
I mean, if
know.
you turn around, my friend, you do have nice beautiful angel wings on your back.
I do that. Yeah, I do have that.
All right, it's going to get more strict, isn't it?
Yeah. So so back to the rules. The big change recently has been before you were not allowed to fly at night at all. So you can only fly, regardless of what you were, you can only fly like 30 minutes after sunset. Civil twilight is what they called it. Well, in the past year, FAA said, hey, there have been no incidents, so we're going to relax that rule, and now people can fly at night. They can fly their drones.
So it's like the 1800s and making a rule about mules or something. They have no idea, and they're like, I don't know what we're doing.
No, it's like Wrigley and the Cubs. Finally, they put lights in so they can play at night.
I mean, Doug said, they are scrambling to try to keep up with all this shit, but they are at least, they're being pretty progressive in my opinion.
They're being progressive, and they're listening to both sides. They're listening to drone pilots, and they're listening to air traffic controllers. Right. So one thing at night, if you fly at night, you have to have lights on your drone that are visible for 3 static miles. That is a long way.
Wow.
You have to have bright-ass lights.
That is a bright
So
light.
you're just not going to go to Best Buy and buy one and fly it at night and be legal to fly.
I do have a set of lights coming in today, though.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
So it'll make 3 static miles?
3 static miles is what
Nerds. Nerds.
Well, fuck yeah. What do you think we're doing here?
Yeah.
So wait a second. So how much power is that draining power from would-be flying
No,
time?
it's really, of course you can't see it on the camera, but it's basically a quarter size of what these lights are here.
It's LED lights.
LED lights are battery powered. You can mount them to
and
your
they're getting surround visibility.
Well, I haven't really seen that yet, but basically, yeah, they're just pointed a direction. So basically, the lights are rated for 3 statute miles. They're supposed to be compliant.
Did you say statue miles?
Statute miles.
What does that mean?
I don't know. That's what they say. 3 statute miles.
I thought you said static miles.
He said statute.
Statute miles.
Yeah.
But the bigger change coming up, which is really going to impact everybody, that the FAA is, of course, everybody hears the stories about people flying drones and crashing into helicopters and planes and shit.
Yeah, those guys are called assholes.
Assholes. So the FAA is coming out, and I don't remember if it's 23 or 22, where drones have to have some form of what's called remote ID. So it's kind of a digital license plate on the drone.
No way.
Yeah. So for commercial pilots, your drone has to be remote ID compliant. If you're recreational, so say your grandson decides to get a drone, he has to now be a member of a community-based flight club. So remember back in the day when you had, model.
The first rule of the community-based flight club, right?
Don't
talk about flight
club.
But remember, back in model, aircrafts, there'd be these flight clubs and people would fly these planes, airports and stuff.
Yeah,
it's kind of the same thing with drones now, that you have to be a member of these clubs and comply to their rules before you're able to really fly.
So what we're picturing then is going to be radar, and on the radar we're going to see all these dots that have identifying details to them while they're a dot on the radar.
Kind of. I mean, what I do now...
Can you get a vanity plate like Hugh Jassol?
I'm up your ass, I'm sure,
All right, 6944 left, Fred. Yes, Hugh Jassol, you're clear on the left.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah,
Did you sit on that all day?
All day. All day. We discussed it during lunch at Raising Cane's.
Hugh how do you spell Jassol?
Jasol.
So it's Jessol.
It's Hugh.
There's not like an
Jassol.
H in there.
This goes back to when they have like morning sidebar, when they have morning radio and they have like the birthday club and all that BS on the radio. So you would send things in, and if they were smart like you would pre-read those, because I know you had those back in the day.
Of course.
And you would pre-read them, and in your head you go, is this something? No, okay, this is probably good. It's Joe Smith. That's good. But if you got one, it was like, happy birthday to Hugh Jassol, you probably, maybe not.
Yeah.
Mr. Jassol, that's great to have you here. Can I get a seat for you? Anyway, okay, so then they really are working on this stuff a lot faster than a lot of the bureaucracies and the agencies the federal government can do.
Absolutely.
These guys are moving much faster on this stuff.
They have to move fast, and another thing that the drones have to be registered. It's cheap. It's like $5.
Yeah.
But you go to the FAA, you say, this is my name, this is my address, this is my drone, and you have to display the FAA registration number on that drone.
This is my weapon. This is my gun. This is for fighting. This is for fun.
And you have multiple drones?
Yes.
And you have multiple drones?
Yep.
They're all registered individually?
Yes.
Of course they are.
And
Of course they are.
And on top of that, like with our company, proud employee owner of Emery Sons, we
Hey, you can't call me a nerd.
You're just dead.
Yeah. I can call you out on so much technology.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
wait. Let me settle this real quick.
No.
Is there a convention somewhere in Vegas or somewhere else for drone flyers?
Yeah, there is. Of course there is.
Nerds.
Yeah.
Oh, have you
There
gone
is.
to radio conventions?
Yeah, we're nerds.
Yeah, but there's like cosplay and crap at your radio conventions, right? Hey,
At his office, he probably has.
Yeah, you pay extra for that.
yeah. Tom Bowman, the Dungeons and Dragons is starting.
Hugh Jassol, your castle has just opened.
So get back to what you were
So
saying
I was saying
before he rudely
the other
interrupted.
things that people
We're
don't
so
realize
sidetracked, though.
is with commercial piloting is that your personal or company general liability insurance does not cover anything that will happen with that drone. You have to have a separate policy to cover that. So,
Is
like-
that through
like-
your regular insurance company?
for example, with our
No.
with our insurance provider, no, with our insurance provider, we have a an aviation policy because we do have a twin-engine aircraft out at
Right.
Columbia Airport, and our drones.
Oh, that's right. Your company has an airplane.
Our drones are covered under that same policy.
Right.
Wait, automatically, or you had an addendum?
Well, it's an addendum, but
Okay, but you
it's
included
part
them.
of the same policy.
And
and
so
I
if
know
you-
it sounds ridiculous, but it covers any damage that those drones could do.
Okay,
Do
so
you
what,
have-
what does the bad roadie do, though?
I've got a separate policy. I've got $1 million general liability and then
Yep.
a drone rider on top of that.
Oh, my
Can you
God.
That
can
I,
you tell
that I
us?
have to pay myself.
Can
So-
you tell us which insurance company you went to?
No, I can't remember off.
But
the
is
top.
it is it's not common? Then.
No,
No, it's like some marine.
It's not like the Wright
marine
Brothers
or-
Insurance Company or some BS like that.
Could be. I don't know. It's
When
not-
you
so-
get another drone, do you call your insurance agent and say, "Hey, by the way, I've got an email
it's,
or whatever"?
It's not like a car where you say I've added another
Okay.
car. Basically it's just
You're going
I'm-
to drive one at one time.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing too. As a drone pilot, you can only pilot one drone at a time. I can't put multiple drones in the air.
Now, this is the thing with you guys, which is that they're not doing it just because they're nerds, which we've already clarified. They
Oh, no,
are.
we've already established they're nerds.
That's the way.
Yeah.
But you guys actually do this for business.
Yes.
On your side, it's more for the company you work for.
Yes.
On your side, you're freelancing
I'm freelancing.
For his company.
for his own company. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
For
Back
Doug's
over to you.
company.
Yeah.
Well, I'm freelancing for other
You're
companies
freelancing
too.
and other
So
companies as well. So
I'm,
first,
I'm
Doug.
cheating on Doug. Let's just admit it.
Yeah, of course,
So,
it happens.
You know.
First to Doug, you're doing this for your company. You have been for several years. And how did you get to be the one to do this?
So I started this with our company because we hired someone to
Well, let's
come.
talk about what you do real quick so people understand. What does your company actually do?
So we're a heavy highway construction company.
Right.
We build roads and bridges and infrastructure. We do
Right.
all the flat work. Okay.
Right.
You clear out land
Yes.
where somebody's going to put in 15 acres of an industrial park.
Yes, we don't go vertical. It's all
Do
horizontal.
you know the joke about if you build a bridge, you're called a bridge builder, but if you suck one... never mind.
So yeah. So I was going to
No, don't go there.
stop. So so we hired out someone to go film one of our projects in 2013 at in Lawrence, Kansas. The job, the K-10 project around there, and gave us a fair price, paid for his hotel, his travel, and did the math and said, "Hey, I can buy this drone and do it ourselves and save some money."
Yeah.
So after a few years, it kind of grew. The technology grew,
Right.
and now we use it to measure our stockpiled materials. We use it to measure how much dirt we move, et cetera. And we're super busy and have things going on. I call Chris. Hey, can you help us out? What are you doing this week? Can you fly these sites for us? So,
Before we get to Chris on that, you're using satellite technology to help you understand the depth and height of the ground that you're smoothing, or is that correct?
no, it's not satellite technology. Now, the drones will connect to 16 or 18 satellites. usually.
It's a grid system, right?
But it's called photogrammetry. And photogrammetry.
you just made that up.
No, get back
Yeah.
to my question specifically was, are you using satellite technology to understand the topography, or are you using a drone?
The satellite helps lock in the drone elevation to where it will fly itself at this point. If you get off of the sticks, the satellite points GPS will keep it level. The pictures that it's taking, and Chris will get ready to show you this here, but it uses photogrammetry to determine the height of the highest point and the lowest point, and it will give it a fixed value.
So it's the satellite and the drone working together, and you take a hands-off approach as an operator,
Yes.
and it does its job, and it goes, here's the lay of the land in front of you.
Yes.
As your heavy equipment operators are, let's say, smoothing out the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll fly before they move the Earth
Yes.
and after to determine how much they moved.
Good. Lord.
And it's all with photogrammetry. It knows the and again there's some the things that Chris and I are doing with these stockpiles are a little different than what we're doing with moving Earth. So we will determine with some special drones that we bought, determine the elevation with a base station to coordinate each elevation when we start one.
So let me ask you this: there's a handful of companies like yours around the country that do what you do. Everybody on drones now? Were you guys the first?
Everybody's on it.
Everybody's on it.
But you were right there in the curve.
Yeah. I remember
in that
you
curve,
working for your company pre-drone.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you're like, hey, man, guess what I'm doing now?
Yeah,
I'm flying drones.
And the technology went from 0 to 100 like that.
Right when you were in the middle of doing it.
Right.
Yeah, it was
Could you do
stuff.
Could you do your job? Could you guys run your business as efficiently as you are now without the drone?
No way. Absolutely no way. Because, for example, what Chris did for us the other weekend, went to 2 sites, flew them, came back in.
Oh, yeah, he bitched about it today.
It would have.
You should have heard.
Oh, my God.
You cheap motherfuckers.
Yeah. But
that he said that.
But the alternative is someone walking each one of those piles.
Yeah.
Right.
Getting the coordinates of.
And putting in the stick, right?
Yeah, putting the stick on the pile at 25, 30, 50 different points.
Yeah, well, like when you
forever.
drive down the highway and you see a guy out there with, like, he's got a set of sticks and there's another set of sticks and they're trying to, like, line it up.
With the whole age-old, since the pyramids, surveying.
Yeah.
Right? So,
But now surveying is a total new thing.
Do you
now
do survey with
what they're doing.
drones now?
Well, they're using that technology of GPS with the surveying.
Okay.
And not only with the surveying, but with concrete paving and other things. So where we used to, not to get off topic here, but where we used to drive or steer a concrete paver on a string line, well, now it's stringless. So you put all the coordinates in.
Right.
We need to pave this road based on these points. And
you punch it into the paver.
You put it into
And
your
then
concrete
that's
paver,
done.
And
it's
once
just
again,
done.
not to get completely off topic, but if you're driving up to, like, Iowa and you see these gigantic Case IH agriculture pieces of equipment, they are also using GPS technology to stay in line in those rows.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And
Amazing.
another thing we have is when we're doing a building pad with the motor grader, and if you've ever been in a motor grader, it has, you have the blades. So
Nope,
you can
never
go
been
this way.
invited. Never been invited.
So a blade can go left, right, tilt this way. The wheels can go up, down, twist, all these twisting things. With automatic total station, it adjusts all that for you, and you just really need to drive it forward.
So
and
what the hell are
backwards.
you paying this guy for?
Well, that technology is very expensive, and
All right.
that guy.
Does the guy in there know? Does he have to set that up?
Absolutely, they set that up.
He's
yeah.
got to learn the whole thing.
But it's within 1/10 of accuracy.
You're
That
kidding.
stuff-
1/10.
1/10.
absolutely amazing.
Wow.
To Chris, to talk about, and not to go, I guess we can build right off of what you've done for these guys. Have you done some of the stuff on the lay of the land, on the topography?
I haven't done construction, and kind of what you're talking about is, our drones. I don't know if your drones haven't, but you're talking about a drone that has what's called a LiDAR sensor, light detecting radar, which could give you, a true survey, lay of the land. So that's a different type of camera that goes onto the drone, which could give you. So it's able to detect down. It can shoot down through trees and leaves and actually get the elevation of the
Good
slope.
Lord.
What I did last year for an ag company in town was flying, again, a drone that had another sensor on it. It was kind of like near infrared, and you were doing a normalized data vegetation index.
Hey,
So
hold on. Pause.
We're going to take another round of the same.
Sure.
We have to keep.
Yeah, we're going to need
see?
little beers.
Yes.
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, she wants our empties.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyway, so
You're
Wait, real
good.
quick, before you go into that story, like all other technologies, like when the internet was developed and other things, the most important question is, at what point are you using drones for porn? When does that happen?
Oh, tell me, please.
Well,
Doug must have broken the ground on
Not
that.
yet.
No, not yet, because the internet was built for porn and camera technology was built for porn.
Well, so
drones
far,
not built for porn?
You used for porn.
Yeah.
It wasn't built for porn.
Well,
right
it was
now-
built for porn.
right now the
Tables
drone-
were built to eat on, but they've been used for porn.
No, they were built for porn.
All right.
Let's be honest.
All right.
right now the drones are too loud. It's like flying a huge fucking mosquito outside your window. So you really can't get it
That
outside
is
the
very
window.
specific
So,
porn,
yeah.
my friend.
And birds are not friends of drones.
What do they do?
I'm sure you've had that too. Oh, it
Oh my
pisses them
God.
off.
There's great videos out
They
there.
will
There's a
fucking circle them.
There's a video up in Minnesota or Michigan where an eagle took out a drone.
So, like, in my territory? Is that what it thinks?
I think so. I don't know. I think it might be.
No,
think
the
it's a predator.
disco turkey is not afraid of drones.
And and you get around seagulls. There's a certain, if you're flying a drone at a certain elevation, seagulls will take it out. So basically, what you're told to do, if you're flying around seagulls and you start to see them go after you, you're basically going up or down. You don't try to outrun it, but you're basically going up. So birds will take it out. There's another video I've seen where a guy was flying a drone down the road, and all of a sudden turned around, there was an owl right there, about ready to grab it.
Yep.
So did the owl? I mean, it's hunting.
Yeah.
The owl thinks this might be tasty.
It sees something flying, and it's like, hey, it looks like a predator. I'm going to take it out.
You don't have like a squirrel tail hanging from yours or anything like that. So.
Well, not right now. I guess
Okay.
I could. I could put a tiger tail on it.
Tiger tail.
Could you
Yeah,
imagine?
It might be easy to catch now.
Yeah.
Well, along those lines, have you done anything fun with it? That not illegal, but did you go looking at a bird? Did you fly up to a nest and be like, "What's up, bitch"? Come in.
I don't know. I guess I tend to try to respect nature a little bit. I don't want to be buzzing around.
Don't harass nature.
I don't want to be buzzing around eagles. It's like I kind of,
All right, let me ask a more important question. Have you used it for porn yet?
No, I have not.
I'm just curious.
Now, I
What
did
do
have-
you want to see? You want him going over some lovely
A
individual?
couple in the woods, and you're like,
Now if somebody's having a pool party and I kind of know about it,
Right.
then maybe I could. Fly
hey, you know
over
what?
and kinda
We've
get
been
some-
at your pool a couple of times and felt like we were being watched.
Somebody lost a drone in our backyard. We don't know whose it was. It came over and then it dropped right there, and it was like, I don't think they.
What I am
had the
waiting for
power.
to happen to me is somebody to shoot at it.
Yep.
It's only a matter of time for somebody to
Well,
take
you
a
live
shot
next
at
door to a sniper, for God's sakes. How
Yeah.
come he hasn't shot at you?
Because I go over and tell him I'm flying a drone. Don't fucking
Please
shoot
don't
me out
shoot.
of the air.
What's
All
the
right.
best weapon to shoot at a drone? A shotgun, if it's close enough.
Oh yeah,
yeah, if it's
buckshot.
close enough, yeah.
Probably.
Buckshot. Yeah. All right, so let me ask you this. So we've talked about this hardcore. You guys are using it for like really serious business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a kid that works for me who now has found a whole side business of doing droning for weddings,
Yeah, that's a
Yep.
big part. Yeah.
right? So
Yep.
like all of a sudden now you've got a regular photographer who probably shoots color and black and white, or sepia, I think is what a lot of weddings do.
Well, and sometimes you've got a third or fourth player in there that's doing video, also
right?
on the
And
ground.
now you got this other kid who's now flying a drone above
Right.
your ceremony.
So you mean the ceremony's going on? Like, they look so. This is happening?
yeah, I think
Yeah, I
so.
think it is.
Some of
Yeah.
that, yeah. But the thing people don't realize is they need to be a commercial pilot, and you
Because
just,
they're getting paid,
and you
right?
just don't sign up to get your license.
So I should ask this kid tomorrow in the office, show me your license.
So I will tell you real quick. We both had to take a written test. I think. Did you take yours at State Tech?
Yes, I do.
Your test. You had to take a written test. It was over an hour long, and it was extremely difficult. I mean, you really have to.
Yeah, but the two of
You
you
don't
passed
study.
it.
You
The
don't
two
have
of you
to-
guys passed it.
You don't have to understand wind currents.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
you got
do.
to understand weather.
Absolutely.
You got to understand how to read sectional charts.
What? What? sir?
Sectional charts.
Yeah.
Aeronautical.
Sectional.
Suctional tarts.
Not suctional.
Yeah.
Suctional tarts.
Sex-
is what I
So
heard.
for example, one
Boy,
question may
she
be.
looks like a very suctional tart, eh? Bloke. Look at that. Take her home
you
tonight.
may see a question that says there is a cluster of cell towers that is 4 nautical miles southwest of Columbia Regional Airport Tower. What's the highest elevation you can fly? So you have to know that your maximum elevation is 400 feet above ground level.
Correct.
The sectional charts have mean sea level and above ground level elevations listed on there. And so you need to know what class airport that is and what distance you're allowed to fly, and you're allowed to fly 400 feet above the top elevation
Okay.
of that tower.
You studied for this
Here-
test.
here's
Oh,
what
I
this-
studied my freaking ass
Here's what
off.
this
Yeah.
tells me. There are so many people that are illegally flying their drones.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, there
I'm
are.
telling
I
you,
can only imagine.
it was. I probably studied an online. Paid for an online class, and I probably studied 40 hours myself.
Yeah, I
and I
crammed for-
crammed it.
So
Yeah.
what happens if you're flying illegally? What happens to? I mean, you've got to have some teeth in this law that's going to
They
mean
do. There are stories where the FAA has gone after people, and the fines are pretty.
and
pretty
keep them
stag-
from ever getting a license. Also,
I don't know
Maybe.
if they keep.
I don't know.
I think they just get. It's like a pilot. You just probably get fined. You get fined enough. You're probably not going to fly again, or you can't afford to fly.
have you guys ever been interested in actually flying a plane?
Yeah,
A little bit.
There's an interest in it, but I'm probably not going to pursue it at this time. But yeah, I've always been interested in.
Have you seen the flying cars now that use anywhere from like 6 to 16
Dude,
or
they've
whatever?
got drones that are fly people now.
Yeah.
Right. That's what. So, would you guys be more likely to do that before me and Tom, because you trust drones maybe more than we do, and you understand them better?
I don't think I would get my ass in a drone right now.
No, I just want a drone to do DoorDash and bring that shit to my house.
And porn. We already
porn.
made that
And
plain.
porn.
That
And
was-
porn.
So another interesting
So you
topic.
want a big screen TV delivered? You want a flying screen? Flown
No.
in.
I want the porn camera to shoot. I want the drone camera to shoot porn.
Shoot porn. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm sure Doug and I can work on something like that.
No. No.
And you
No.
know we can add.
No.
Are you going to be the player?
We can
No.
add music to it. I mean, we've got access. You know, we could get a good
let me be clear.
good bass. We
I
could get a
don't
good
want-
bass beat going there. You know, and
No. Let me be clear
you know?
to those of you that are listening horrified right now and watching my face horrified.
This is our
Yeah, there you
conversation.
There we go. Yeah.
There's some porn
Sorry.
tune for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm here with your sandwich.
I didn't order a sandwich.
Let's see. It looks like it's a sausage sandwich.
Wow, that got gross.
That's crazy.
I don't want a sausage sandwich for a long time.
Okay, so back to drones.
Oh yes.
So I will say, my experience, Chris and I have also talked about this, is that the fixed-based operators at airports, the flight service centers, the air traffic controllers, they are very interested to talk to licensed pilots, like Chris and I,
Right.
to learn about drones, as well as we want to talk about them to learn about single-engine aircraft or operations at their fixed base.
Well, let's be honest. If you're flying your $3,000 drone and it crashes, you lose $3,000.
Not only that, depending on what your drone crashes into, you're now talking about filing reports with the NTSB as well as the
Right.
FAA.
Yes.
But the point I'm making is that let's say your drone crashes in a single drone accident. $3,000 and your pride hurts. But if you crash that drone into a single engine aircraft and it kills 3 people, that's
Yes.
why they want to know what the hell's going on with
Now,
you
can
guys.
that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it
It's like
could
a
get
bird.
sucked
It's like
into
a
an
bird.
impeller.
It's an electronic bird strike. Is
Yeah.
what it
What is the drone? The ones you guys are operating, what do they weigh?
Mine's about 2 pounds.
The Inspire 2 that I have with batteries on it is about 22.
Pounds?
Yeah.
Yep.
What a braggart.
Yep. It's very
Holy
heavy.
crap.
It could do damage.
It's like
yeah.
it's like Terminator. I mean, if you haven't seen it
The
in
thing
Inspire
is,
2, it's like a Terminator.
it is-
fucking
No, we're
drone.
never invited to see.
Do you
Doug's
remember
drone.
one of the first times you flew yours at one of our events and you took it up at night?
Yeah.
Watching those 2 lights come around and look at you and lower down, it's scarier than hell,
Yeah.
It is.
man.
Yeah.
That's
Pretty
why I said it's
crazy.
only a matter of time for one of our drones get shot out of the air. People get
Yeah.
Sure.
So, but again, with the growth of the learning curve with the FAA and other drone pilots, for example, right now, Emery Sapp and Sons, we're doing a runway extension of 220 out at Columbia Regional Airport. We want to document. Not only we want to document it, but the city of Columbia wants to document all this process. Before, you would have to submit a request to the FAA, which would take a minimum of 90 days to get approved or not approved. Since then, they now have the LANCE system, which is the low altitude authorization
notification
system. Yeah. So what so I applied to the FAA, said, hey, we're doing this project through December of 2021.
Yeah.
And they granted a waiver. And those waiver conditions are that you have to be within radio contact with the air traffic controller at all times to coordinate the flight pattern with you.
So that means the operator of the drone,
Yes.
you're going to have a headset on and be
You're
like,
going to have a walkie-talkie right away saying,
right there.
hey, are we good to fly? Yep, we're good to fly. And if there's an airplane coming in, they'll say, we got an airplane coming in at this direction. Let's go ahead and land that right now. And you also, so without that permission, your drone will not even start. You can't even turn it on.
Who's controlling that?
So the company that our drones are made through is DJI.
And they allow for some other entity to control the
No,
drone?
no.
This
So
is-
what happens is the
Yeah,
FAA grants you a waiver. That waiver, as a pilot, you send that to DJI. Here's my permission from the FAA, and they will unlock your drone for you when you're ready to fly it.
That is amazing because
So-
we have multiple parties now to
Yeah.
make it.
Yes.
We're
I-
back to the triangle turkey
And
thing.
I think
or
that's a
something
gap
like that.
because there's another job that I'm flying for Doug up in St. Joe, and it's a military airport. It's a National Guard airport, and so in that area I couldn't even get lands. It's basically a big red circle around it saying you will not fly in this area. So same thing.
Right.
So I wrote to the FAA, I requested a waiver. It took about 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was pretty quick
to get that. But same thing. So I had to submit that documentation. And what's funny is that we submitted it to say, I'm going to fly this once a month, and we said for a year. They came back, it's like, well, we're going to grant you 3 years. So I'm approved to fly this like once a month for 3 years.
Is that to save them some work?
I guess.
I
don't
think
know.
so, yeah.
But the stupid thing about it is now I got to submit that to DJI and say, okay, unlike my drone, I'm like, dude, I just got approved. It's like, why are you even questioning it? It's like,
Back to the technology. What are they using to unlock your drone?
Your drone has to be updated to what's called a fly-safe database. So periodically, about once a month, you have to, connect your drone to the internet, and it has to update this database to say.
Is that done with a USB cable?
Usually,
I'm asking simple questions.
Yeah, Wi-Fi, internet, whatever
Okay.
it is, and so you have to connect it in, and it's got to update its fly-safe database, and so so it knows, that these zones are protected, and then. So when I did the bike trip in Colorado, I was trying to get the drone above around Estes Park, and I knew I was right on the edge of the red area. There was, and it said, I was like, okay, I'll take a chance. The drone just got
again, that red area is a geofence. I mean,
it's a geofence.
You hit that geofence, and if you're clear to fly here and that geofence is here, the closer you come to it, it will drop.
And the same
just
thing,
drop.
I tried to, I was like, well, I'll give it a shot because I'm right on the edge. It went up here, and I was like, nope, that's all I'm doing.
Let me ask you a question, though. But what if you were just in your backyard running it? It's the geofence that screws it up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you could run this from your backyard all day long, every day.
Yes.
But when you got close to the area where it was, and by geofence, it's like an electronic, invisible fence, right?
Right.
That goes up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Couple technical questions. Where does the geofence come from? What's putting it out there? Is it the cell towers?
I'm not sure. I mean,
Could tell you. It's
all right.
it's
Another
latitude,
technical question. I
longitude.
think
well,
you'll
no,
appreciate.
it's not cell towers. It's satellites, GPS.
Satellites, yeah.
So the drone gets in it, gets satellite locks, and so usually we have to have at least about 12 satellite locks before the drone will say we're good to fly.
And
I
geofence
asked-
is a very generic term because,
Yes.
for instance, in my business of radio, we allow radio stations to stream the broadcast that we do within a 75-mile radius. So it's a little bit different technology.
But that is using the cell towers, which aren't even cell
Well,
anymore. But those you're using phone
it's the
towers.
IP address, basically, yeah. And it's
Okay, it's the IP address.
These are satellites.
This is wireless.
yeah. So it's you hear geofence, and it means a lot.
But
of
it's
things.
like the same
Understood.
thing. I mean, you can't go fly above Faroe Field during a football. Actually, at any time.
now
without getting
nobody
clearance.
cares. They need any kind of insight they can. So.
Yeah. I mean, to Doug's point, I mean, the University of Missouri basically has a policy that you will not fly over any university properties at all. So I mean,
Period.
So you got to
Unless
do
you have
your
permission.
Unless you have permission, but you got to do your research. City of Columbia, where we live, they will say that you can't launch a drone from any of their parks. There's not a geofence. There's nothing when you.
Where do you find that rule?
You got to look. You got to go and look.
Because they don't have the drone police out there.
Well-
Back to the tech for just a second. I want to because I said something about a USB. How can you communicate with a drone? How many different ways does it have communicating with information? A USB could be plugged into it,
Typically, it's a remote controller.
which is hitting with what kind of wave of information?
Well,
How?
it's usually a cell phone. So you connect your cell phone to the controller, and then the controller is communicating with the drone. So it's usually your cell.
So the controller is using what? Radio waves?
Yeah, it's a 2.4 gigahertz or 5.8 gigahertz dual band communication.
Okay. So they've got that. It can connect to you also through Bluetooth when you're updating something on it, correct?
It's usually not Bluetooth. It's usually wireless only. Or
So
you can do
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi, yeah.
So it has Wi-Fi. It also has some sort
Well-
of satellite reception?
Everything is basically through the remote controller. So the remote controller is kind of the drone can't fly autonomously on its own. So the
It
drone
needs the controller.
It needs what's called a remote controller.
Not yet.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
if it loses signal to the controller, it lands where it took off.
Right. You can set it say if it loses
Oh,
connection.
it'll come back to where it took off
Yes.
and land.
If you have that set, you can say you just want it to go down right where it's at, or if you want to go return.
So it could do that also.
It could return to home.
Are these Reasonable questions that I'm asking?
I don't think they're unreasonable.
I mean, because I don't understand what's operating what and how it's getting its information.
Basically, it's a remote controller, and your remote controller has to have some form of mobile device, like an iPhone or a controller or something that is running the app.
Okay.
But if you could, if the phone goes dead on you, which has happened to me, I've been in the middle of a mission, and the iPad just completely got too hot, overheated, and shut down. Where the controller could still work, and I can still get the drone home. I'm flying in the dark at that
Notice
point.
he called it a mission.
I know. So what's bitching about it is he didn't say it was on a job. I was doing this
On a
thing. I was on a
gig.
shoot a gig. He's
No,
like,
it's a mission.
I was
They're
on
called
a
missions.
mission from God.
Mission, flight mission. Wow. Sortie. I'm on a sortie.
We got half a carton of cigarettes, a 6-pack of beer. We're on a mission.
I'm having so damn much fun. I have no idea
So
what
there,
time we're at.
so I'm gonna add a couple quick things. So there's one of the sites that we have that it's not a no-fly zone, but it's like a semi-restricted area to where you have to get a code from DJI to unlock your system. So you will try to fly, and it will say, "We notice you are in restricted airspace."
Right.
Number one, do you agree that you are the responsible party? You hit yes. And then it will text you a code that you put into your software on your phone to unlock the drone to be able to fly. That way they know that you are flying this, you accepted all responsibility if something happens. And most of those are around like helipads at hospitals.
Right.
You're still pretty far away.
So
It's amazing.
Is the point as we get ready to go into Christmas buying season?
Yeah.
Obviously, there is a huge discrepancy between the $90, $200 drone that you're going to buy your kid to go fly in the backyard and bug the neighbors, and these professional.
Well, we hadn't even touched on racing drones. I mean, that's a whole new.
Yeah.
I mean,
like competition?
oh my God, it's
But that's
huge.
been around a
that's
long,
that's
long
ESPN
time.
shit. There are people that have racing.
How far are they racing?
It's speed.
Indoors.
really.
It's speed. It's indoor
Speed.
speed, and they're flying through a grid, and they're on
And
goggles,
they're
and
wearing the goggles.
And I
Which
mean,
was the other question I was going to ask. Have you guys done any VR with this?
I have, and
Yeah.
I hated it.
Porn.
Did you feel like you were
Hated it. You could not tell the trees are over here when you're looking here.
Couldn't see the forest through the trees.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
Wow.
Hated it. Absolutely hated it.
yeah.
Well, you haven't not done it yet.
Oh no, I have. What I like to do, and I was telling Bowman about this at lunch, was I would get my drone up about 400 feet in the air and put the goggles on some family member or somebody else, and it's say okay now, turn your head around and the gimbal's turning around, and it's awesome. I mean, you're basically 400 feet up and you can see all around. That's
So
so,
as they
Let
turn,
me translate. As they turn their head, the camera turns.
yeah. So
is the drone or just the camera?
just the camera. So the drone is stationary, and the camera is on the gimbal is able to turn, matching their head. So it's
and it
basically
goes side to side and up and down.
side down, up and down. So then tell them, okay, now look straight down at their feet. They're looking straight down 400 feet, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, it is.
They're
Yeah, it
freaking
is.
out.
Yeah.
It's fun.
That is some cool
but
stuff, man.
I can't, like Doug said, I can't fly with those headsets on because you're so disoriented.
yeah.
So I had one more thing to talk about city parks. So the pandemic came along, and they were allowing cross-country racing at Gans Creek, but parents could not be there. So I was contacted and said, hey, would you mind flying the drone to capture this race?
Cross-country racing on foot.
On foot.
Make sure we're not talking about drone
Yeah,
racing,
yeah,
right?
no,
All right.
yeah.
So
On-
these are
on
regular
foot.
cross-country racing.
Yes.
High school?
High school. With the pandemic, parents were not allowed to attend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So I reached out to the Parks and Rec and said, this is what they're requesting. Can I get a waiver from you?
Right.
Even though the drone would still fly.
It would.
But
It's not
to be in a city park. So I got written permission from them. Had to provide my insurance. Had to provide everything to them. And at the same time, I contacted the high schools to say, I need written permission from your athletes that I will be flying at this facility and they will be recorded on video.
Yep.
Without that, you're not flying. There is
Yeah, because if you're a Russian spy and you hire one of these cross-country kids, somewhere halfway through the race when there's no one around, they go off into the woods, they exchange secrets.
That's
They're
what,
gonna-
that's
and
what
then
happens.
That's what happens.
Or
right?
have, or have
For
sex.
some reason, I think that when the Russians want to do their thing, they're just going to come in with drones and do nothing. These
Yeah.
guys are behaving themselves. The Russians do
Yeah.
whatever they want to.
Interesting.
But the
Well, it's
big
only a matter of time before somebody drops a grenade off one of these things.
Sure.
It's like if
Why
know-
are you telling people this? Why are you giving
Actually,
ideas?
it's very true.
and the big thing is with with Privacy Act, and the FAA has been you can't say you have to respect everybody's privacy. Don't film anybody in public. But, you know, this started out with the real estate business like we talked about.
Right.
They would film homes for sale. But then if you get the neighbor's home in there, then they're pissed because you're invading their privacy and you weren't hired for them. So
well, let's be honest.
There's a lot of gray area
If you're
there.
paparazzi, drone is a great way to go now.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to climb into a tree. You don't have to, like, hang on the side of a mountain.
You can follow a boat.
You can simply just fly your drone
over a beach
and take pictures of
Nude
actresses sunning
All right,
themselves
so
in their backyard.
Among other things we've learned today, one is for certain for Tom Bowman. When, how, and what are you guys going to do to get some porn our way?
Yeah, right?
I'll leave
Come
that
on.
up to you.
So I'm
Chris.
pretty sure that's
Come on.
That's really what we're dealing with here.
I'm
Drone porn.
What is it you're picturing with this in the woods?
Yeah.
And the drone
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
down. It's like, oh yeah, baby.
Yeah.
And
No,
she-
not sex with a drone. That's weird.
No, I'm not saying with the drone, but the drone comes down. The two of them are like, what is it, dear?
They don't even
Nothing,
know
it's
the,
just a drone.
They don't
So,
even know
you
the
know-
drone's there.
I'm
next-
envisioning Bigfoot. You know, he's kind of like, you know, going to Yeti through the woods, you know, chasing.
Okay.
You know.
So it's
That's the problem.
It got
Next,
beastie.
next time you and Deb go camping, I wouldn't tell that one over there.
No kidding. Here comes a little mini drone coming along.
I don't own a drone.
Damn thing's getting scary.
This has been a podcast story. Tom's World Beer Tour. For future episodes, download and subscribe where you get your podcast, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeart, and Amazon Music. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Or send us an email at tomsworldbeertour@gmail.com. All content property of Tom's World Beer Tour, copyright 2021. No beer was harmed during this production. Only consumed.